the opportunity to attend the Requiem service for the departed distinguished Kenyans, and 2, to resume sittings on the afternoon of Wednesday, 4th March 2026. Honorable Speaker, this is just a procedural motion as you have just communicated in your communication to allow members to attend the Requiem service tomorrow at AGC Karen. As you have communicated, Honorable Speaker, in your communication, beginning 9, or rather we are all expected to be seated at the service in church at 8:30 so that the service can begin at 9. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, it will not be possible for us to be able to split ourselves, some to be at the service and others to be sitting here. And the House Business Committee resolved that we have this procedural motion not to have a sitting in the morning and to resume at 2:30 after the Requiem service, so that we may have time to pray with the family and also to eulogize our departed colleague and the other 5 passengers of that ill-fated chopper. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. And as I move, Honorable Speaker, just in the interest of time, because I am almost certain you will allow the House some time to send our condolences, allow me to use this opportunity to convey my very deep condolences to the family of Johana Ng'eno, the wife, the children, and his entire family in Emurua Dikir, and also the family, as you indicated.
Are you signing away your right to speak after this motion?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I thought I could do that now.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying, as you have also indicated, our colleague Ntutu, Kitilai, and the entire Ntutu family, who are in-laws to Honorable Ng'eno, to convey on my own behalf, on behalf of my family and the people of Kikuyu, and indeed the entire House, Honorable Speaker, our very deep condolences to Honorable Ng'eno's family and the families of the other departed passengers who are with him, including Captain Were. Honorable Speaker, Captain Were is someone I knew very well, and I've flown with him. And Honorable Speaker, even yourself, you remember, only a week ago, the other weekend, I was somewhere with you, and you flew back, you flew from where we were to Western Kenya with Captain Were. And Captain Were was a very experienced captain, someone who served in armed forces, left the armed forces and get into civilian aviation, and has done very well in his career, and was a very careful and dedicated officer in his service as a captain. Honorable Speaker, one of the other gentlemen, the teacher Carlos, who is fondly referred to as Mwalimu Carlos, his name is Keter. I knew Mwalimu Carlos in 2016, 2017. Honorable Speaker, I was together with the Senate Leader of Majority in the 2017 campaigns. We were designated by the then president to go and campaign in Narok County. And I spent a lot of time in Emurua Dikir. And Carlos is a gentleman because he was a campaign manager for the man who was running against Johana Ng'eno, who was organizing all our rallies in Emurua Dikir, wherever we went there. And we put up a spirited campaign, but Johana Ng'eno put a very strong defense. And even with the Jubilee wave in 2017, Johana Ng'eno on a canoe ticket trounced us, and we lost that election. And I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, because Carlos was the one who was running the campaign of the other Keter who was running against Johana in 2017. And as fate would have it, years later, Carlos made up with Johana, and that speaks to the person that Johana Ng'eno was. He held no grudges against anybody. They made up, and in fact, Honorable Speaker, I dare say that Carlos was recently recruited by TSC, and the Member of Parliament for Emurua Dikir, Honorable Johana Ng'eno, had a big hand in helping him to get recruited by TSC as a teacher. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I am speaking of people I know in person, the Honorable Ng'eno, Captain Were, Mwalimu Carlos, Keter, fine gentlemen whom we have lost. And it's indeed very sad for all the families. And I convey my condolences to all of them, all the 6 families who have lost loved ones. Honorable Speaker, Johana Ng'eno, as I said, we campaigned against him in 2017. And I remember, and I was sharing with at his home yesterday, when he came back to this house in after the 2017 elections, we were friends because we joined this house together in 2013 and we continued with our friendship. And I remember challenging him and telling him, the only reason why I campaigned against you were 2 reasons. 1, because you are still single. 2, and you have the energy to fight. 2, because you are on another party against Jubilee.
Order. The member, is it from Isiolo? Walk to the bar and do what is necessary. Even in the middle of excitement, don't violate house rules.
Honorable Speaker, you must forgive Honorable Momina. She crossed the floor in excitement. You know, she just delivered a seat to UDA in Isiolo South, together with the other members for Isiolo. So she's very excited. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, Honorable Ng'eno, as I said of him, never held grudges against anybody. And I remember when we came back after the 2017 elections, we, together with a few colleagues, including my good friend here, Honorable Nelson Koech, we told Honorable Ng'eno, you have completed 1 term of parliament as a bachelor. You cannot continue being a bachelor. And he told us, watch this space. And I'm glad that within the last parliament, the Honorable Ng'eno found a good wife and married the love of his life. Is a widow now, Naina Ntutu. And Honorable Nelson Ng'eno, Nelson Koech, whom we had challenged Ng'eno with, was the best man in that wedding. It's sad, Honorable Speaker, that now the widow and the children are left without a father and a husband. And the people of Emurua Dikir have been left without a very dedicated leader. A person who would go to any length to fight for his people, defend their rights, and more importantly, to make sure that he delivers for them as a member of parliament in terms of development. And Honorable Ng'eno has done exemplary well. For those who had been to Emurua Dikir when it was the larger Kilgoris, and the member for Kilgoris will bear me witness. Before that constituency was split between Kilgoris and Emurua Dikir. It was a very large constituency, and therefore previous members of parliament had a difficulty trying to develop the entire constituency as it were. But Honorable Ng'eno has done exemplary well as a member of parliament in his 3 terms as parliament. And I say that because I was in Emurua Dikir late last year at the invitation of Ng'eno for his bursary award program, and as he handed over a number of school buses to schools. And the people of Emurua Dikir were very proud of the performance of their member of parliament and the strong defender of their rights that he was. This House, Honorable Speaker, the people of Emurua Dikir, his family, and indeed the entire country is poorer without Honorable Ng'eno in our midst. And we will celebrate his life as we mourn him. And I want to pray, Honorable Speaker, that as we mourn Honorable Ng'eno, Ng'eno was a peacemaker. And Ng'eno had never in any way entertained ethnicity. And I remember, Honorable Speaker, and you'll see even in his clips, I was watching a number of his clips, and everywhere he spoke against ethnicity. And he was a unifying leader. I pray, Honorable Speaker, that as we mourn him and as we lay him to rest towards the end of this week, we will emulate Honorable Ng'eno in his standing as a leader, in his unifying character. And more importantly, Honorable Speaker, that we all remember the families, not just of Honorable Ng'eno, that of Were, Carlos, and the other departed compatriots and countrymen who lost their lives on Saturday evening, Honorable Speaker. And in conclusion, Honorable Speaker, let us also mourn and celebrate their lives, bearing in mind that they have families that are hurting. And I say this, Speaker, because I know I just lost a relative a year ago, last year, some months ago. I know what it feels, and many of you know, those of you who have lost relatives. It is unfair and rather callous for any one of us who purports to be a leader to be using the death of any Kenyan for political gain. And I say this, Honorable Speaker, because I saw the pain of the family, of the widow, of Ng'eno's relatives, and those of Carlos and others, having to learn of his passing on from a careless statement by a leader at a political rally in Nyahururu. Honorable Speaker, it's not just shameful, it's so callous of any leader, even before the immediate family gets to know of the loss of a loved one. You are there in a political rally announcing their death. It's shameful, Honorable Speaker. And how I wish, and I described people here, Honorable Speaker, 2 years ago, saying there was a dark man with a very black hat. I am vindicated, Honorable Speaker. I am vindicated. This is a dark man with a very black and dark heart and soul. Somebody who has no feeling, no respect for family, no respect for anybody. Somebody who scavenged on anything, including death, to try and drive or get some political capital. Shame on you. That you should use the departure of one of us to do your cheap ethnic-based politics, or even imagine that you can incite one sub-tribe against another or one community against another. Honorable Speaker, I say that because it was really hurting. Honorable Speaker, you were at Ng'eno's house this morning. You saw how distraught that family is. It's sad that somebody who purports to be a leader, and I don't know of what because he leads nothing, can use such an opportunity to be seen like you are celebrating the passing on of another human being. That is what a man with a black heart does. That is what those with dark souls do. And I'll say shame on to them as we mourn our colleague and the 5 other Kenyans who lost their lives, including our friend Captain Were, who I have said, Honorable Speaker, was a very dedicated captain, very careful. And let us not speculate on the cause of the death or the accident. Let us allow the air traffic accident investigators to do their work. But also, let us also exercise caution wherever we are moving on the roads, the air, and be aware of our surroundings, including the weather patterns, especially around this rainy season. Honorable Speaker, allow me to end it there, and I beg to move. And may the souls of our departed colleague and the 5 other passengers rest in eternal peace. And may God Almighty give comfort to their families and rest their souls in eternal peace for those who have left us. I beg to move and request the Honorable Osoro to second.
Osoro.
And he may also use his time like mine.
Thank you very much, Honorable
But
Speaker.
much less time, 3 minutes.
I will try, Honorable Speaker. I want to sign off my rights also to speak after this motion is passed, and use this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to also condole with the families of the departed souls of our great Kenyans, from our colleague, the Honorable Johana Ng'eno, and the 5 that were with him. Honorable Speaker, the 6 that left us and like we say, went to be with the Lord, at least out of the 6, 3 are known to me personally. And one, I would start, Honorable Speaker, with the young man who is a cameraman by the name Nick. In several occasions, Honorable Speaker, we've shared platforms with the Honorable Johana Ng'eno, and at times when I don't tag along with my cameraman, we use Nick to take us photos across, of course, and share with us, Honorable Speaker. And on that particular day, the Honorable Johana Ng'eno had actually asked my cameraman to accompany him to an event, but it happened that my cameraman was in Kisii, and he had to maneuver away to carry his. So the young man is well known to me, and it's very, very sad. I say that his soul rest in peace. Honorable Speaker, I'm also known, the late George Were is also well known to me. He's flown me on several occasions. In fact, in the very last event that we shared with the Honorable Johana Ng'eno, Honorable Speaker, I flew with the Honorable Meli from my constituency, because Emurua Dikri, Honorable Speaker, is just one constituency away from mine. It is South Mogrango, then Kilgoris, where the Honorable Sunkuli comes from, and then Emurua Dikri, Honorable Speaker. And so we are too close. When you fly from my constituency to his